The Neom Line City. The biggest and most advanced city project located within Neom, the northwest of the Saudi desert, is the most anticipated infrastructure project today. It has been referred to as the link between complete insanity and profound ambition. How did the idea for this project come about? What is it exactly, and how will it work? One thing is certain. If this project succeeds, it will become the modern-day Babylon. But if it fails, it will be the most devastating man-made disaster that has ever occurred in history. As of 2021, the population of Saudi Arabia was at 35.95 million, and in 2030, it is estimated that the population will grow to about 50 to 55 million. At this point, the population will reach and surpass the full infrastructural capacity of the country. This raises the question of, what happens where there is no more space for the growing population? And that is where the idea for a new city emanated from. But building a new city from scratch wasn't going to be easy. With the environment in mind, and a large interest in sustainability and conservation of nature, the rhetoric of this new city is a carbon-free space that is completely devoid of cars. A vertical infrastructure designed as an alternative way for humans to live a better life, with an ideal climate all year round and enhanced social structures. This city is known as the Line. So, what will the Line look like exactly? Imagine a green city within a wall that is 500 meters high and a width of 200 meters. The line will stretch as far as 170 kilometers across the desert, mountains, and coastal lines. The line is divided into 140 modules. Each of the modules will be at least 200 meters wide and a length of 800 meters. Each module will stand about 500 meters above sea level. This city is so complex that it will be designed to have 3 levels. The ground level will be designed as a pedestrian floor, where people can walk to their destinations without the interference of cars or transportation devices. It will include green parks and other spaces for leisure activities. The second level, just below the ground level, will be used for commerce, as shops will take residence there. The final level, which is also the lowest level, will be used as a transport level. It will have all the necessary transport systems for moving humans and goods across the city at high speed. The line will reduce the need to own a personal vehicle. So yes, businesses like Uber will probably not function here. Neom will be set up as a free trade zone that runs its own tax and legal system, all intended to attract investors and provide a safe environment where inhabitants are undeterred by the conservative nature of Saudi's Sharia-based laws. It is quite curious that the city isn't built the traditional way, with houses dispersed in a localized area. Rather, it takes the shape of a vertical structure that redefines urban development and saves space. To successfully execute this project, architects will have to reinvent the way that cities and communities generally work. It would challenge the sphere of social communities, driving it to the cusp of its existence. It seemed more like an experimental city at first, a perfect fantasy art that was way easier on paper than an actual plan. However, Peter Cook and some of the lead architectural engineers eagerly took on the challenge and are determined to see it through to completion. How many people will the line accommodate? Each module will hold about 80,000 persons, and the line as a whole will accommodate 9 million people, which is twice the current population of Riyadh, the largest city in Saudi Arabia, with a population of 4,205,961 inhabitants. Many people are curious to know what problems this new form of civilization will solve, as opposed to the traditional cities that are clogged with traffic, noise, air pollution, natural disasters, fire hazards, automobile accidents, and other problems faced today. How will the line differ from any of our current cities, aside from the conspicuous vertical structure? It is speculated that the line will have a high-speed rail that will make end-to-end transits from the beginning of the line to the very end in less than 20 minutes. Residents also have the option of walking to their destination with all essentials 5 minutes away. The proximity of amenities and the ease of public transport will mean less commuting time and the ease of movement from one point to another. The presence of humans typically means the availability of automobiles, but not this time. The line will be designed differently in the sense that there will be no roads for cars. Simply put, There will be no cars at all. The buildings will run on 100% renewable energy. It is a place where the health and well-being of its inhabitants come first. 95% of the environment will be surrounded by greenery, which will improve the atmosphere and ensure a near-zero carbon footprint. Some people have asked, how possible is it to maintain zero carbon in a world where almost everything runs on some kind of combustible fuel or requires hydrocarbons to operate? This is all due to careful planning and the tactical elimination of certain elements and infrastructure that require fuel to work. Renewable energy is fast emerging as a stable source of power, and how it can be harnessed are easier and more sustainable. The integration of various forms of sustainable energy sources will ensure that industries are able to run independently, and the open spaces in nature will enhance the quality of air, reducing ailments and improving the health status of its inhabitants. Interestingly, the line will cut across diverse terrain, such as the Red Sea, the snow-topped mountains, as well as the expanse of the Red Desert. It is not just a structural fantasy, but it will also improve mobility, as 40% of the other parts of the world will be less than an hour away by flight. In retrospect, people in the 20th century were extremely excited about the future. The idea of post-apocalyptic structures and futuristic designs became a priority, with fancy constructions that defied logic and the laws of physics. These designs improved the commerce and overall value of cities, as tourism industries bloomed and contributed greatly to the economy. Cities are the most complex physical structures to create, and there are a million factors to consider, which undoubtedly made the line every architect's dream challenge. The idea begins to come to life from an aerial view, moving through vast landscapes and stretching over a significant expanse of land. The linear city is not a new concept. As a matter of fact, linear motifs have been seen in various cities worldwide. But the idea of creating an actual city strictly on this pattern has never been explored independently to date. The modernity of the design is spurred by the explosion in population and the dire need to solve societal problems using a new form of urbanism. This radical vision was given 10 years to become a full-blown reality, and even so, a project of this magnitude required more than just engineers, designers, and physicists. It also required artists who can dig deep into science fiction and futuristic fantasy worlds. What are the challenges that might impede the project? No endeavor is without its challenges, and for the Neom project, it is largely funding. The $500 billion megatourism project is confronted by insufficient investment, which may affect the realistic timeline for the completion of the project. And that's not all. There is also a need for super advanced technology that in various aspects of its design. The problem is that the kind of technology that is required is non-existent and may take a few years to design. However, this is also somewhat a good thing, because if by chance new forms of technology are designed and produced for the project, it will be the first of its kind, giving Neom the advantage as far as tourism goes. There is no doubt that some investors still have reservations about the viability of the idea and the sustainability of the line as a whole, not to mention the political uncertainties that surround the nation itself. But there are world-class architectural engineers and designers who are convinced that in the next few years, the world will bear witness to the future of modern cities. Why the line, or at least, why now? Saudi Arabia has been largely dependent on their large oil reserve, which has upheld the economy for years, and today, it is the 18th largest economy in the world. The country also has the second largest oil reserves in the world, only next to Venezuela. While oil reserves are a huge part of their economy, the government also understands that the world is evolving at an exponential rate. As the population increases globally, other sources of energy are being explored to improve the environment, and above all, there is a need to diversify the economy. With these in mind, the country is heavily investing in a 2030 vision that will cut across large infrastructures, tourism, scientific research, education, healthcare, and future technology inclusive of green renewable energy. The 2030 Project Initiative is spearheaded by the Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. This is the more common reason for embarking on the Neom project. However, there is an uncommon reason that few people are aware of. You see, the islands Tiran and Sanafir, located just between Saudi Arabia and Egypt, had caused a lot of tension and disputes between both countries in the past, with Egypt originally in control of the islands. The Egyptian parliament later decided to relinquish both islands to Saudi Arabia in 2017. The agreement led to the idea to create a channel from Saudi through Tehran to Egypt, hereby creating a land connection that would enable trade and other partnership ventures. What is the progress on the Neom project? The gigantic city is well in construction with capital investments from more than 90 countries around the world. There are over 60,000 construction workers on site and 4 major city structures standing. These include the Line, Trojena, Sindala, and Oxagon. A container terminal port is set to launch in 2025, and the world's biggest green hydrogen plant will become operational in 2026. From ground footage, various major infrastructures, such as hospitals, roads, and other utilities are present. The Neom project is geared to become one of the wonders of the world and will place Saudi Arabia not just on a pedestal, but also on the map as one of the most powerful nations in the world. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue to learn about the world's biggest projects of tomorrow, be sure to subscribe to Stark Luxury.